We can't just wander and be like, let's see what happens. Because an organization can't support that. Like people's heads will explode and your budget will go away. So you need to have milestones.
I want to pivot to another one of my just like absolute favorite little one-liners that I found in this book. So I am a terrible baker, by the way. Like,
Okay.
except when I'm really good, and it's really funny. I will challenge anyone. I make some of the best chocolate chip cookies in the world.
Oh, we're going to
No,
have a throwdown on that.
we'll have a. Let's do it. My
Yes.
favorite type of throwdown because you can't lose, right? You're getting good cookies
There
no
is no
matter what.
losing.
But
Yep.
but people ask me how, and I'm like, well, I kind of give them a recipe ish, but I don't really know. It's a little bit different every time. It just kind of comes together and works.
Yeah.
And baking is normally not like that. Like baking is
Yeah.
normally like a scientific process where the best bakers are measuring in grams and ounces and et cetera. And you said something really interesting here. You said innovation isn't baking. You said there's no recipe that, if followed precisely, results in the lightest, fluffiest, chocolatiest, butteriest, sweet but not too sweet chocolate chip cookie. And I think that is so important. And let me tell you why, because I want your thoughts on this. So often, the innovation teams that I've had a chance to work with, they grew up out of engineering organizations. It might be sometimes
Mhm.
IT gets segmented off, sometimes it's software developers. And I know that's not always the case. You came up through
Mhm.
CPG in a very different lens, but
Yep.
they grew up through people that are looking for precision. If I do A and I add B, I get C.
Mhm.
Why did you find it so important to emphasize that this is not actually a paint by numbers playbook? And if it's not, what do you do?
Right. I think so. There's definitely kind of where the people tasked with innovation have come from. I think there's also, the work over the past 30 years has fed this belief because we talk about, design thinking,
Yeah.
innovation process. And I'm 100% guilty of this. When I start working with clients, I show them this nice, here's 5 steps and we're going to follow these 5 steps. And so we absolutely give the impression that it's a recipe. If we do A, B, C, D, E, we will get money. And we don't talk about the fact that within each of those steps, there are so many unknowns. There are so many things that could go haywire, some in our control, most out of our control. And through our messaging, to again get senior executives on board, people who are used to having that predictability, we've kind of fit the truth to be heard, and instead of being like, yeah, we have a process, so we're not making this up as we go. We do have a plan, but there is unpredictability in the plan.
Yeah.
And we're just bad at acknowledging that.
I think we're bad at acknowledging the amount of experimentation that you have to build into the plan. And I
Mhm.
mean, you talk about this in sort of the development phase, I think, right, of
Yeah.
your kind of 5 step process here, the 5 Ds. I like it.
Yep.
But that's really hard, right? Because experimentation in kind of a purely scientific sense, like you almost don't know if it has an
Yeah.
ending. You could experiment, you could iterate forever. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if you have anything to add to this, but that has always been one of the hardest things for me when I'm working with teams inside large enterprises that are trying to figure out how to operate like innovators, operate like entrepreneurs. This idea
Yeah.
that we have to have a system that allows for and measures and reports on the results of experiments.
Yep. Yeah. It is really tough. It's um, I often start with saying, okay, we can't just wander and be like, let's see what happens. Because an organization can't support that. Like people's heads will explode and your budget will go away. So you need to have milestones. And, one of the things that I advocate for is at least every 90 days, you need to be pulling your head up and being like, hey, how are we doing towards kind of big milestones of like, by the end of the year, we need to have a working prototype. Like, I don't know what that prototype is going to look like. I don't know what it's going to do, but we need to be on our way to a prototype. So it's kind of setting those milestones that are defined, but not perfectly defined
Yep.
to create the space for you to learn, but also to make sure that you don't just kind of go into this endless learning, exploring, discovery cycle, which a lot of people love.
Sure.
And also
It's
making
fun.
sure that people like me who are like, let's get to an answer,
Yeah.
don't don't inadvertently cut off the exploration that's needed.
So the structure allows teams to kind of time bound it,
Yeah.
make sure that there is a little bit of a deadline.
Yep.